I'm with Lil Tecca.
Mm-hmm.
Say hi.
Hello.
This is a topic that I wanted to discuss about, and no better way to put it than with Lil Tecca.
Exactly.
I think we should start off with guy friendships. To start off with me, I want to bring up about how I used to see guys as like a better friendship than girls. It just plays a part in like what I've went through in life. Nowadays, it's just hard to have a guy best friend unless you've grown up with them, I guess. I think it's because in my opinion, it's like some men just don't see us the same way as we see them. They just sometimes don't respect us the way that I see them. Growing up, I basically idolized my dad. Yeah. And I just looked up to him, and basically how he raised me and how I just didn't have a good relationship with my mom. Like, I felt safe within his presence as a guy. Therefore, I thought, like, okay, shit, all men ate. Like, we all friends. Like, we good. Okay, period. But now that I've lost, not now, but when I lost my guy best friend, I don't know. It's not that I felt empty or whatever. Now is when I kind of like miss a genuine guy, like my best friend. So growing up, I was always bullied by women, and even in pre-K, when I first got in, like I was crying because the way that I was dropped in preschool, bro, like they didn't tell me where I was going. They were just like,
the battle bus.
Goodbye.
From fucking Fortnite.
And so I started crying like crazy, and these girls were like making fun of me, and they were bullying me because like I was a crybaby in preschool, and because I was abandoned. I was, bro. They didn't tell me where I was going. I don't remember Jack. I remember my first day in preschool, bro. And they literally like were like, "You're just gonna go somewhere, and I'll be back for a few seconds." They left me. My dad left me. Like, bro. So I was bullied by girls. And yeah, so I was bullied by girls like in preschool, and then also in high school, middle school, elementary, like just throughout small gaps within those school years. And I was just afraid of women, and I'm not saying I never had like a girl best friend throughout those years, but I was very scared of making a lot of like girlfriends, like as a group. Like I never had a girl group. Maybe once in like 7th grade, but it was just like the beginning.
Yeah.
So, and it also plays a part in guy best friends. I felt more comfortable bonding with guys around that time rather than girls. I became like a tomboy, idolizing my dad. Like if he's going fishing, shit, I'ma go fishing. If he finna cook, like I'm gonna cook what you cooking, I'll help you. If you gonna fucking like barbecue, like teach me how to barbecue. If you gonna like the way you eat, I'll watch you the way you eat. I want to be you. But when we parted ways, it wasn't due to incompatibility. It was just lifestyle. The way our two lifestyles were very different, and how, you know, what I do miss is I don't miss him or want him. What I miss is just the genuine connection, the genuine friendship connection, best friendship within a guy. And I think you were telling me about how it's just how society just like
raises women.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when people idolize like male friendships or the vibe that men bring, there's a reason for that. It's not like men are uniquely born into that vibe. But as you look back on your childhood, how many times were women told to be quiet or made to be insecure for the little things they did?
Mm-hmm.
Like they'd have an off day and they'd like ridicule them, or they would try to make the same jokes men make or be loud, and a teacher would shut them down unlike the way they'd shut a boy down, or even their peers.
Yeah. And
it's like as women grow up, they develop like a persona sometimes as a defense to that, because they're not allowed to be there. They don't want to look like unsightly or be annoying or be too outspoken or be too loud in the same way a man can be. And I think about this a lot when I look on TikTok. I deleted the app But when
I need to delete that app.
When I used
it's
to
just whenever I diffuse my hair, it saves time. Like, time goes by so fast that when I'm on it, the section of my hair is already dry and I'm like, okay, great, period, on to the next.
It literally deletes time.
It does delete time.
Yeah, when I look at TikToks, like that trend where it was like, what your guns sound like. And this is not a blanket on every TikTok. But so many I saw, it was like women would be so much more quiet than the men. It's almost like, why? Like, just saying like, like that's not that funny. Like, it's not that funny. But why is it are just made to be more quiet, and you feel like you can't get the vibe, at least for me, you feel like you can't get the vibe that way because it's like they're just meant to be more quiet. Like, people in society shame them into being lesser versions of their true self sometimes. So you feel like maybe you get an inauthentic experience with women. At least in my experience, I'm very picky. Like, all the women in my life aren't like that. They're like not afraid to be themselves. But I do see in the past, like, some women I've known, they're just not funny. And I don't think it's that women aren't born to not be funny. I think it's the way society conditions them. Because almost all the funniest people I've met are also women. So it's like a two-sided coin. So that carefree vibe or the funny silliness a guy has, half the time it's just because they've never been shamed the same way a woman was shamed.
No, I get what you mean, and I don't know. It's true, and I think that's why that's just the way I feel. Like, I still miss having a guy best friend. It's just so fun. Like, there's no type of.
It's just sometimes you don't mold to society in the same way.
Yeah.
And it's not like shame to women. It's literally not their fault.
No, it's not. It's really not.
A lot of times, like, when people say women aren't funny, think critically of the reasons. Like, think critically for 2 seconds. Why, when you had fun with all of them, they were silly. Yeah. They were loud and they weren't afraid.
They weren't afraid.
To make jokes.
They were themselves. They were literally themselves.
There isn't, like, the fear of not looking good or not being as loud. Or just not.
But it's also okay if they're not loud.
No, yeah.
And if they're not silly.
But whenever I see people describe the good qualities in men, and I see it with my own eyes, it's that behavior.
True.
Like, it's not annoying loud either. It's just like they're not scared to just have fun.
I think this topic plays both a part in girl friendships and guy friendships, and how, like, when it comes to girl friendships, we both love, like, sisterhood. We love that shit. We love hanging out with girlies, and honestly, we have our moments where we hate men. Like, I literally have my moments where I hate men. I still have my moments where I hate men. But it's not. I'm not a misogynist.
Misandrist.
And I'm not even a misandrist. But it's like, we have our moments. And when it comes to girly friendships, it's like, it's fun. But the people, in my opinion, that I've attracted throughout my years haven't been so fun. But I'm not saying all women are, like, mentally ill. Speaking for myself, I've been I'm not mentally ill. I don't think I am anymore. I feel like whatever energy I give out to the universe, I'm gonna get it back. So the people that I was attracting were the people that were not meant to be, but were in my life because of the way that I was at the time.
Yeah, very dark times. And that brings me to another point. Remember that another fucking TikTok trend. I'm sorry, but that's like the best sociological, psychological app because people have no shame on there. When girls were like, when I was pulling.
Oh yeah,
and they're
like doing that video.
Bro, and the girl is like the most basic, clean, slate, and it's not saying they're a person.
No, not even basic, clean. It was like they were also very underaged, and they look like they look like they were 20 and they were underaged. When I pulled the most too, that was another one.
Yeah, and they,
and then now they're like in a unif dress like that.
Yeah, like pinafore dresses and stuff, and they're like, bro. That 2000.
I'm not saying your dress is ugly.
No, it's like, but it's not womanly. And how women were expected to be like so sexual, and all the idols of that era were like Kylie Jenner and shit. That was literally the underage girl with Tyga. It was just like, what the hell was that? It was such a weirdly sexual era. All the beat faces, like looking so grown, and for what? And I feel like that's a unique problem that women face.
But it's like a phase on some real.
No, it is a phase.
It's like, because girl, when we went to that okay, remember when we went to that party and it was for a birthday celebration and like we saw all those kids, because they were kids, and they were like
grown.
They looked grown. They were acting grown. They looked grown, but it was like it felt like a blast from the past because we were the same thing.
Yeah.
We went through that same thing, and they look like our age, but they're not. They're like
Bro, they look
17.
older than me.
No, they're 16.
Yeah, they're younger.
They're 16, and yeah, they look grown for their age, and I think it's just a phase. I honestly think it's a phase, so I have nothing to worry about. Like, I have nothing to worry about for, like, the generation.
Yeah, life
before
is
us.
just life, literally.
It's just honestly life, but...
Some medias accelerate the ways you can exploit yourself.
Yeah.
Like TikTok. That demonic app.
Well, do you think it's gonna get banned?
It needs to get banned.
I think it's gonna get banned, supposedly.
It's like, I get my news from there. Can you just, like, Google and read?
Don't get your news on TikTok.
And go on Reddit like normal people?
Yeah, no, don't get your news on TikTok.
It's literally bad.
If you get your news on TikTok, you're gonna turn into a Facebook mom.
You
don't even know what Facebook is.
TikTok genuinely feels like it's made Facebook moms out of everybody. Like, they're like, I saw this. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Like, shut. Like, what are you talking about? Like, actually. But going back to the original point, in the way men and women are raised differently and how it affects friendships, I think it is a lot of, like, just how they're raised. Because you open a man brain, a woman brain, it's the same fucking brain. For me, growing up, I did not have good experiences with men. They would ridicule me for every little thing. The way I looked, I had, like, fucked up teeth. I was mentally ill, but, like,
she didn't fit the society standard.
But
that's what it is. Like, and that's what's annoying.
And it's like, why do I have to be sexy at 12?
Why do you have to be bullied for someone that didn't fit the society standard? But that's because we were kids. We were uneducated. We didn't know. We didn't even have that much technology back then.
No, for real. We had an iPod Touch and call it a day.
Yeah, so it was just, like, what they saw in the movies or something.
Yeah, and
you
it's
know
like,
what I mean?
sorry, I'm not a fucking IG baddie at 12, you know? So I always...
Because some of them were IG baddies.
Yeah, some bitches...
They were just naturally gorgeous.
Yeah, and that's good for them.
Yeah.
But it's definitely... And they still got paid dirt, because they were literally like 12-year-old boys, so don't expect much from them.
Yeah, no, literally.
It set a bad taste in my mouth for men. Like, I'm grown now. My my woman friends, my man friends are the same to me, just a person who I care about. But when I was younger, I always thought men were, like, more shallow, or they were after something transactional, and I would see the men around me, and I'd be like, yo, what the... And they would be, like, just doing bad stuff to people. But it's, like, trauma. It's, like, when you see bad things, like, obviously, you can't just apply that to the world. But it passes in time, but, you know, as a kid, it was definitely, like, men bad. And women kind of bad also.
And imagine now, changing the topic, imagine now mashing it up together. A friend group where it's men and women, and your personal experiences, our personal experiences, honestly. What do you think?
I feel like friend groups of a certain size, some are obviously, like, special and free of this example, but I feel for a lot of them, like, genuinely a lot of them, it's definitely, like, a mishmash of people who genuinely wouldn't go together otherwise. And so a lot of time friend groups fade and they change simply because a lot of these people would not be in the same room if it wasn't for special circumstances. I have a girlfriend. Let's say I'm a dude. I have a girlfriend. This girlfriend brings her girlfriends. Or you're a dude and you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, like, literally just friends.
And then they all come together. And
so you have these situations where it's people know other people way longer than other people. They gravitate to those people. Some people, it's a gender thing. Like, they just do not talk to women unless their friends bring their freaking girlfriends or something. So they gravitate towards men generally. So you get these weird segregations when it links up. Like, it's a good time otherwise, but it's very shallow. So when things, you get used to that, and you get used to all hanging out, and when things change, it feels like, wow, like, what a change, what a difference.
Yeah.
But then, for me, it's always been like, this is just in passing. Because there's hierarchies, like, I don't know how to say it, and people don't realize that. And there's personalities that wouldn't mesh otherwise. So it never really even goes further than that for a lot of people.
I think I take my friendships very seriously, and it's because it stems from just the fact that I never had a strong family where I can rely on them and and for them to be there for me and for me to be there for them. So throughout my whole life, I've just always had my friends, and whatever connection I made that I felt like clicked with me very well, I took them seriously, and I wanted the friendships to work as much as possible. That's why I love making plans. That's why I love like doing things with friends and making plans to go out and trying to find ways to bring the group together, because it feels like a family to me. A family that I like never had with my actual family. And that's why I feel like I take it kind of personal when things start to fall apart. And that's why that was another fear that I had. I just didn't want to lose everyone. That's one thing I forgot to mention. I grew up a romantic. Like when I was in preschool, not the first thing, I immediately had a crush on a dude. And I don't want to say hopeless romantic, because hopeless is such a weird word. So I grew up as a romantic, and I started to realize my lack of self-worth and how much I didn't like love myself and all that, like in middle school though, you know? And that's when I realized, like, it just made sense, like, oh, the reason why I want to be in a relationship is because I'm not getting the love that I receive back at home, or, you know, I don't love myself, but I want someone to love me. But I was feeling all those things in middle school. But I do remember, like, in preschool, like, I had a crush on a dude. Like, I was boy crazy. And I don't know where it came from in preschool, but I do know in middle school and all that it stems from distractions, and it stemmed from all the things that I said before. And it's like, I don't hate the fact that I'm a romantic. I do need to learn how to control it, because the relationships that I got myself into since high school, from then on, it was just all because of loneliness and all because of not loving myself. And I feel like it also affected the hobbies that I now have. Like I didn't even have hobbies back then. I had like small little things, but they weren't as serious until now, where I actually want to do things in life that make me happy. I want to hang out with the people that make me happy. Like my whole world isn't revolved around relationships anymore. I don't know. I love being in a relationship. Honestly, I think it's a beautiful thing, but right now I just it's crazy to say this now, but I do not want a relationship right now. And that's crazy to say coming from my mouth. Coming from my mouth. No, literally. And I don't know. I just think it's crazy. Basically, I don't regret any of the relationships I went through, because that's just all like a part of life. But I do know that the universe was giving me a lot of trial and error, and it was giving me every relationship that I was in felt like a reincarnation for some reason, like the same cycle that I was going through over and over again, but just like same shit, different toilet. You know what I mean? Yeah. It just sucks to say that my last relationship was a trial and error, and it kind of sucks because I literally thought that this person was like the one, but I realized that it was so disappointing to find out that this person is also a trial and error, and I was like, damn, bruh. But the good thing about it was I finally realized that this relationship finally opened my eyes to get out of that cycle, to get out and break the cycle of what I was going through since high school. And now I feel more liberated. It's just crazy to feel this way now. Like I feel very different in a good way. And it's not this person's fault, obviously. We were both in the same frequency, wavelength of how we attracted each other, and how this person was meant to be in my life for this reason. I'm literally not saying it's their fault, but I feel like it's my fault. And honestly, I'm learning through it. But I feel like I can't blame myself. I feel like this is just a life that I was meant to live in this way. So just attracting certain men in my life that doesn't fit me is something that I had to go through to realize and finally reach the finish line and finally realize things about myself too. Like, that party, dude, that was a crazy night. I don't know what the planets were aligned in, but I'm just telling you that was a very stressful but very eye-opening night.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's stuff like that where it's like, you know, relationships, obviously humans don't want to accept sometimes that some relationships aren't forever, because you do change as you grow. And you realize things about yourself, because you yourself do not even know yourself. So how can you expect to be so young? Some people get lucky, some people, they meet the right one, but that is so rare. And it's more rare than people like to admit. And it's normal for stuff like that to happen, because you're still growing up, they're growing up, things happen, and it's like, you can't be serious and expect that unless you're very lucky to be it. And some people, society just does not see it that way sometimes. You still go into it because you never know, it might be it.
Also, I do think that relationships are important though, because you do grow from relationships. If you're not growing from a relationship, you're doing your own.
Yeah.
Like, I feel, because like, if you're not growing,
then you must not even be interacting with that
or
person.
like this person breaks up with you because you're not growing as a person, but they're growing, and then you just regress and regress and regress, like,
yeah.
not in a bad way, but like concerning.
Concerning.
Yeah. I can't wait for your relationship.
OMG. It's gonna be Wattpad. It's gonna give Wattpad. It's gonna be like a motorcycle. No, I'm kidding. It's not gonna be like that.
Anyways.
Lil Tweeka.
Lil Tweeka. Yeah, there was a lot of like anxiety and fear within this past relationship, where it's like I built so much within this relationship, a lot of experiences with people. I've gained a lot of knowledge within the art industry with these people, because in high school, our high school, it was filled with not artistic people.
There's definitely people.
There was definitely people.
Just people.
But meeting these, I feel like everything happens for a reason, and meeting this person that I was once with, like, it was meant to happen. It was meant to happen, and I was meant to grow from this, and I know that in this lifetime, like, I am meant to be in the art scene. Like, you remember how I was so hesitant during COVID? I was like, Nicole, look at me. I can't be in the medical field. I'm crazy. Like, I'm crazy. I'm crazy.
They got Harley Quinn taking my vitals.
I'm not meant to be in the medical field. Like, I'm not saying people that are artsy or whatever the fuck, like, they're not to be in the medical field. They're not meant to be in the, it's just, it didn't feel like a passion. It felt more like, me personally, if I'm passionate about a career, I want to be, like, very passionate about it. I'm not here. If I was in the medical field, girl, you're not going to see me trying to create a cure for cancer. I'm literally going to be in a...
Clock in, clock out.
Yes.
Like...
It's just going to be a clock in, clock out, and that's a horrible lifestyle for me. Like, I don't want that. I want diversity. I want things to be, every day to be something different. I love marketing. I love photography. I love modeling. I love fashion. I love just...
creative things.
Creative things. And... being in the medical field...
derailed the combo,
like,
as
if I'm not creating a cure, I'm gonna be a nurse, and it's gonna be the same shit over and over again. Maybe same shit, different toilet, where, like...
maybe that, can I help you?
a person pees on my face, like, it's like, that's probably gonna be the only thing crazy about it.
Girl, you won't believe who peed on my face today.
Girl, you won't believe who bit me today.
Mm-mm.
I had to get a rabies shot. Bro, no!
A human is crazy.
I'm not saying the medical field's like that.
But it's not for everybody. And you realize that.
Yeah.
And you realize things as you get older about everything. Life is preparing me for the nightmare boyfriend.
And I'm gonna be the Nicole in your
You're gonna
scene.
be like, he did what at Cheesecake Factory?
I'm gonna be the Nicole in my bed.
He did what to the cheesecake?
Curled up in my bed with Mishka, like, girl, he did what to the cheesecake? He did what? And then she'd be like, and then Nicole's be like, and I'll be like, when my Rolo's like, he did what to the cheesecake? At night, at like 2 a.m.
At 2 a.m. at Cheesecake Factory.
Future, you were?
Mm-mm. I'm gonna date Future.
I'm gonna date Kevin Gates. What the hell?
Not Kevin Gates.
What's wrong with Kevin Gates? Your toes, girl. What's wrong with Kevin Gates? Tell me, what's wrong with Kevin Gates? What's wrong with Kevin Gates?
He has ugly feet.
Okay, I'm not a feet person, and what about it? You ain't even got no Pisces placements, and you telling me that he got ugly feet?
I'm kidding. Actually, maybe I'm not kidding. I feel like the feet might be ugly.
Have you seen his feet?
Wiki feet. Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Wait. You're lying.
Y'all go on Wiki feet. I take it back. I'm so sorry.
What do you mean you take it back?
Bro, those are good feet.
What?
Okay, I'm sorry they're built that way, but they're clean. Okay, they get it. They get it.
Anyways.
Wiki feet. Okay.
Well, that's it for the video.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoy.
Not the stereotypical YouTuber exit.
Guess our sign. Guess our sign, guys. No, literally, guess our sign, though.
Put it down in the comments below. You're gonna cut that out.
I'm not gonna cut that
No!
out.